Come closer. Oh, you hand off the ball. You hand off the ball to Kaden. I'm gonna drop it. Okay? Wait, Kaden, did you start?
Wait, who's on my team?
Oh, Kaden already started.
Okay, I'll edit it.
No, hand it off to him. Then I'll tackle it.
Okay.
Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and this week we are starting an exciting series. We are going to be talking about online arbitrage. So we finished up learning about liquidation, and now we're going to be learning more about online arbitrage. A lot of my videos have been talking about retail arbitrage, which is where you go to store to store to store in your local area and find products that you can turn around and resell. So you're buying them low and you're selling them high. Now what we're going to be talking about is how do you do that same concept but completely from your computer. So online sourcing is great for people that don't like crowds. They don't like shopping, maybe they have health issues that prevent them from leaving the house. For me, my biggest bottleneck was time. You've heard me complain about that before. I have 8 kids that I homeschool, a business, aging parents, a large home, a lot of things to take care of, and sourcing for products online really helped me to save time and money. So whatever your reasons might be, it can be a great way to add inventory to your already existing business. So what are some of the things that I like about online arbitrage? Well, the main reason, of course, is that I can do it completely from home. I can, research the products. I can purchase the products arrive at my door. I can stay home with my kids. This is great for single moms, caregivers, people with any kind of illnesses. Maybe you're in a geographical area that's not very conducive to sourcing. Maybe you have cruddy stores in your area. Whatever your reasoning is, it's really neat to be able to work completely from your computer. I love it. The second thing is items arrive in boxes already perfectly sized for that product. You don't have to go out looking for boxes. You don't have to pay for boxes. You don't have to stress about boxes. I've even delayed shipments because I didn't have the right size box. And that's awful. So this is really nice because you get the boxes with the product. And I know that's a little thing, but it means a lot to me. So the third thing that I like is you find large quantities. If you're wanting bulk, in stores, you go there, they might have 1 or 2 or a few of each item. But if you would really like the opportunity to buy more, you would have to drive to several locations of the same store in order to find more of what you want to buy. But online, they have large quantities available. So, normally you can always find at least 10 into the hundreds. So you have the opportunity to buy in those larger quantities. And another thing, the last thing that I really like about it is just the additional savings. In store, you're limited. You can sometimes find a physical coupon that you bring in with you. You've heard me talk about using your credit card for points or using some kind of optimization of a rewards program like the Kohl's has cash bucks, that you get back. With online sourcing, it's really easy to impulse buy. But with online sourcing, you really can use more than that. You can use these cashback sites, which I'm going to be talking about later, and even getting like $500 back for the quarter. And then in addition to that, there's coupon codes, that you can use for a larger savings. So moving on, let's get started on the how-to. So I recommend that you get used to the way that online sourcing works and how your items are going to sell before you buy large amounts. That just makes sense. You don't want to spend your entire sourcing capital on items that you really don't know about or on a sourcing method that you really don't know about. So everyone, including people that have a lot of selling experience, should start small when growing into the online platform. There are so many websites, so many products, it seems limitless and it's a little overwhelming. You shop at a local store, you begin to understand the layout. You understand their policies, you understand where the clearance items are kept. So for example, in some of my previous videos, you've seen me where in Target, I'll talk about how the clearance sections are always off the main aisle. They're kind of hidden, on an end cap that you don't always walk down. Walmart, in comparison, has a whole aisle, maybe that might be the whole aisle is a clearance section. When I was learning retail arbitrage and I was used to the Walmart format, when I switched and I started incorporating Target, I had to learn different things. I had to learn how the store was set up differently. I had to learn how they handled their clearances, not only the location of the section, but when did they start to put things on clearance? Were there times that things were clearanced more? When you go to a thrift store, some thrift stores will offer the first Friday of the month 50% off. So I wouldn't want to walk into a store that I've never set foot in and buy a few carts worth of goods, right? I wouldn't do that. So online stores are the exact same thing. To get to know them, you have to buy a little, to get a feel for the company, see how the shipping pans out. And then once you have a good feel and a certain level of comfort, you can progress to larger orders, more money and more risk. First, I kind of want to take it slow. Some things that I look for personally is how do they handle the large orders? So you want to know, is the company seller friendly? Do they allow tax exempt and give you additional discounts? Are they not reseller friendly and they block your account? Shipping slow or fast? Companies vary in their shipping speed. You can place a regular order in at two different stores, and one will arrive here in 3 days and one will arrive here in over a week. I'd rather try the shipping out on a few products than place a really big order only to be surprised that by the time it processed the company and went through the shipping and arrived here at my house, now it's a different price point on the Amazon platform. Maybe it's a different rank. The whole market has changed in some way while I waited, and now I don't want my products. Another thing, I guess it's more of a pet peeve, would be, does the store check its quantity that they have prior to you placing the order, or do they wait until after you place it and then send you notification of a back ordered item? Time is valuable. They never even tell me that they're out of stock until after I've placed the order. What I really like is when I go to that product, it tells me how many are left. 50 left in stock. And that way I know how much they have. I know how much I can purchase before I even make the decision to buy it. As you begin to look for products online, it will be natural to wander into different categories. You're kind of, starting to look at one thing and then you hop over there and start to look at another thing. But you need to be mindful not to go too deep into any category that you're not familiar with. A better option is to start selling in a category that you have sold in before, have personal buying experience in, or just know a lot about. Watch categories, learn about them. How fast do the products move in this category? The rank. Is this category very competitive? Is it a consistently best-selling category? Now, a note about products. It can be so easy to get caught up in the new product. It seems like such a good deal. Your instinct is to buy as many as they have. In a local store, that is normally not a huge problem because all the store ever really has is 3 or 4 of them. But online, you can literally buy hundreds. So don't go all in on one product without proper research and just a good inkling as to what will happen with that item in the future. So for example, if I were selling 200 items and they were $30 each on the Amazon scanning app, wait to get them in the mail, and preparing them to ship them to the Amazon warehouse. Sometime during that period, Amazon decides they're going to jump in on the listing. And so now the price falls to $12 an item. Well, now I'm kind of stuck. I can lower my price on my product, or I could wait for the price to come back up, which could take several months up to a year. So that's why, for me anyway, I choose to always start with like a half a dozen of a particular product. So 10 maybe if I'm like super confident. Amazon or reselling in general is just a fluid picture, everything changes all the time on a daily basis. You know that. So the rank change, the competition changes. If Amazon jumps in and listing, if Amazon decides the product is restricted or the category is restricted, there's just a lot of unknowns that we deal with. So on category, I really don't want to get too deep. And on a product, I also don't want to get too deep. So it's just a better practice to go wide rather than deep. But it's a lot easier to go deep than it is to go wide, just because we get, caught up in it. It's just kind of a natural thing that we do. You know me, I love those big clearances. They always get my heart pumping because they may not be available to purchase later. So there's kind of that, I have to get it now mentality, but I have to keep myself in check. I have to keep reminding myself not to spend more than 10% of my budget on any one item. So if my budget is $1,000, I may want to spend the whole $1,000, my whole budget on one item, but I'm only going to buy 10 items. That will cost me $100 because that's 10% of my working budget, and that's where I want to stay. And the reason I want to stay there is so that I can minimize my risk. If anything changes with that listing or that product, I will be so glad that I didn't spend all my budget on one item. So your return on investment goals, your ROI. Thanks guys for watching the video. I appreciate you. Appreciate you subscribing to this channel. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and click that button. If the content was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up so that way I know what you like and what you would like more of. I look forward to seeing you next video. Thanks guys. Bye.